I made the report last week, and you just got it today. And so, has anybody been working on it since I made the report last week?
Well, okay, so when was it reported? It was reported the 26th. Was that Friday?
The 26th was Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay, yeah, no. So I was out for a few days. I think I left early, maybe Wednesday. So it could have been on my desk, but I just came back to work today.
I hosted a drag brunch at Hugger Mugger on Sunday, and for the week prior, we've been getting death threats. And I don't know if you've seen the news, but the Proud Boys showed up and showed out and was spewing threats at the crowd and all the things. And then one of the people that I reported showed up right at the drag brunch. And so it's just concerning to me that the Sanford police let it sit on somebody's desk who wasn't even there at work for 5 days. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's Monday now. The drag brunch has already occurred, and I no fault to you if you weren't at work, but that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. I'm sorry, obviously, that it happened like this. And did they tell you, I guess, to go take out charges? Because usually with misdemeanor charges, it's people who it's not first-handed to us, it's second-hand. So you guys are actually the ones who have to go take out the charges for misdemeanors. We can't do anything. I mean, we can try to work it.
I hear what you're saying, but it's a alt-right terrorist organization, the Proud Boys, right? So if the idea is that every private citizen needs to go down to the magistrate to take out. I mean, I got a warrant on the one person, but the other two got criminal or just got a summons, which is nothing.
Right.
It's just nothing. It's not. I'm an attorney. This is nothing. This was something that the law enforcement should have done. The FBI reached out not only to me last week, but to the Sanford PD to inquire what they were doing about this action. And if what you're telling me is what they were doing about this action, well, what they told the FBI is that they're looking into it, but what they really did is put it on your desk, and you've been gone for 5 days.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Right, yeah. Yep.
I'm concerned not only as a citizen of little old Sanford, but, just as a human in general, that this alt-right group is here, right? And that they're, and not just in Sanford, but, Booth was in Iredell County, and Brayboy and Lewis were in Lumberton, and the flags that they were flying at the Cape Fear Proud Boys, on Sunday. So this is a whole thing, right? So I would hope that there's some contact tracing going on with these folks, and that we're trying to figure out where the next threats are going to be coming from, and how we're keeping this community protected. That's
right. Yep. I totally agree. Well, I will dive deeper into this and see what I can do. As far as there's already charges taken out. So I'm not sure as far as
Are there any other charges than the ones I did down at the magistrate?
No. There's no other charges. Those are just the ones that you have currently.
Right, which is disappointing because that means the Sanford PD did nothing, right? Like, I've been reporting stuff all week. They did nothing. They put it on your desk, and then they showed up on Sunday and hoped for the best.
Right, but as far as yours, there's still going to be, a court process and everything that you're going to have to go to. So it's not like nothing was done.
Right, but it was only done by me.
Right, which is you all. I mean, yeah.
Right. Like I got death threats from the Proud Boys, and I'm the only one that did anything about it.
Right.
And that's what's concerning to me.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if there's anything that would be upgraded as a felony, yeah, that would be my part. Then I would step in.
What's it take for it to be upgraded to be a felony?
I'm not exactly even sure. I'd have to look at a few charges. But if it's communicating threats and stuff like that, that's a misdemeanor. And if that's the case, then it sounds like you've already done your part in what you need to do. But like I said, like if there's stuff that I see, or if I present the case obviously to the DAs and they say no, we should upgrade it, then that would be done through me or the DA's office.
So, have you read Jimmy's text messages?
What?
Have you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like.
What?
So, I'm concerned for a number of reasons, but like, Jimmy infiltrated the KKK 60 days before he was found dead. And so that's concerning to me. So that was, 30 days. So in October of 2022, you remember when the Proud Boys came out in front of Hunger Mugger and that whole thing happened, and then a month later the power went out in Moore County?
Oh, yeah.
Right, and that whole thing? So all this happened in the same timeline. So if you go online and you search, let's say my name, Lindsay Knapp, Proud Boys, the thing that's going to come up is a picture of Jimmy standing in a tutu outside of Hugger Mugger in front of a bunch of protesters, Proud Boys, that are threatening to kill me. So one of the people we had convicted
Why
of
are they
this,
threatening to kill you?
because we're LGBTQ and they don't fucking like us and they think we're molesting children and all this kind of weird stuff. So one of the people that was threatening to kill me, we had convicted of that, right? We were able to get enough because, as you know, you can only get so much, right? Like, so one of the people done, Roger Dodger. So that's October of 2022. Fucking November 2022, Jimmy sends me some text messages saying that he's out with so-and-so and they've got a fucking KKK Klan hood underneath their thing. 30 days later after that, Jimmy fucking turns up dead. And so I'm concerned. obviously, right? Because Jimmy's talking to us and he's like, hey, I'm into some shit. I'm figuring this out. So Jimmy is he's in. He's in the Brotherhood, he's in the KKK, he's figured out all this fucking shit. He's not telling us yet, but he's like, we're gonna let you know. He's letting us know that he's gonna let us know. All right? We express as much to fucking Ellard, and Ellard says, without ever speaking to me, I've spoken to no one, that he's looked at it and there's no connection.
And then like Christmas comes along and he was so excited because he's like, we have enough to get him.
And all this occurred. What was the date, if you don't mind? What was it like? It was like the 14th or something like that.
My brother died December 15th. So
15th.
So a year later, December
later.
of 2023. Jimmy died in 2022.
Okay, so this is about a year.
A year later.
Okay.
So he's being dodgy back and forth, right? He's like kicking the can down the road, right? Like, oh, I got something, or oh, I was too busy, or oh, whatever, right? And then guess what? We're pressing charges up, but we're just gonna wait till after Christmas.
Yeah.
He's like, we have enough. We're gonna press charges. We're gonna make the arrest, but we're gonna wait until so he can have Christmas with his kid.
He got the drugs from Keith, but Keith left the drugs for Rachel. Like they weren't even intended to be given to him. You see what I'm saying? So you're having trouble.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so you're not gonna charge. I can't charge Keith with death by distribution, second degree murder without due regard for human life or anything like that. Because it was just left for a different person. And how death by distributions work, or how they should work, is we get out there. So Matt Ellard is not. I don't work all of them. Sometimes, like the detective on call will work. Oh, actually, I was in Nebraska at this point. So that's why Matt went up to there. Yeah. So he went as an on-call deal. That's not his like specialty. He just served. It was like an initial response, and then he was tasked with investigating. And I'm not justifying the sorry investigation. I'm just trying to explain to help y'all understand it. What should have happened is you get there. It's very easy. You separate everybody, isolate the same, take everybody's phones. For if you suspect them to be involved, like if that's the way it should have been handled out the gate. You test all your drugs. You don't tell people that. So that's probably actually what bothered me the most, honestly, of everything that you told me. I mean, obviously everything did bother me because there's a bunch of good raw information that could have been used. Let's break this down. Okay, first off, Detective Ellard, we've already established inadequate investigation. I got it. Let's be finished beating up on him. I think that's fair. Okay. Like I said, I don't work based on emotion. I work based on fact. Like I work cases like a sociopath. I have no emotion tied to any case. Don't matter. Homicide, child sexual assault matters not to me. I'm working that case the same as this case as well. So in doing that, just because, hey, he caused them to die, I'm going to up it felony. I don't work that way.
There's just so many other
There's
things.
just a lot of data points, right? And then maybe they don't thread, but it's just weird, right? So like, you do narcotics investigations on the regular, homicide. Okay, I mean, so the drugs are being. Yes. I mean, drugs are, if you're in a distribution case, there's drugs coming up the I-95 corridor. A big chunk of what I do is Delta Force is part of that. USASOC and all of them are trafficking drugs, and that's not.
You about third group? Is that what you were referring to a while ago?
In part, right, but not just third group, right? So this has been going on for quite some time, right? Seventh group is bringing them in from Colombia down in Florida. It's coming up the I-95 corridor. That's years before third group, and then even before third group, the MPs on Fort Bragg are busted for selling drugs out of the patrol cars on post. That is the commanding general that I'm deposing on the day Jimmy died. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's all these like weird things, right? So who's the weakest link in my circle? Well, Jimmy, right? Like who's the easiest one to, like I'm not saying people are necessarily coming to get me, but if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it swims like a duck, it's a fucking duck. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird.
True.
It's a whole lot of weird it's a whole lot of weird data points, that's all I'm saying. And what's weirder to me is that law enforcement doesn't give a fuck. I'm like, really? Law enforcement doesn't give a fuck? I'm like, I'm getting asked to speak at conferences where other law enforcement agencies are worried about the violence as it relates to voting, right? And that how that falls in the LGBTQ community. And then my overlap into the drug trafficking community with my clients that are victims of human trafficking and other things, right? So it just is all this fucking weird shit. And the stuff on me, you can just Google. Like
I don't know you.
I know you don't, but
Yeah.
fucking Detective Allard did. Right?
Well-
so you know, like I'm on fucking Hulu. Like you could just Google. No, I'm just saying, like, if law enforcement was worth their weight in fucking salt, we wouldn't be here right now.
I like going off probability too, you know, and it's you know, it is a lot of strange stuff that goes on. Granted, it's kind of a strange lifestyle, you know. It's it is. It's he shows some characters that do drugs to hang around. You know, obviously with what you do, you know, you're in a position that receives threats, you know, just like me, I would assume. And so if you step back and look at all the weird coincidences that happen in your life, like at that particular time, and you want to link it to him, could it be linked? Yeah. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it probable? Y'all know it's not. What's probable is it's a house where they do drugs at a lot, and he had drugs in his system. Is it possible that they poisoned him intentionally because of this stuff that happened in Moore County? For sure. But it's a problem. Probably not. That's just all it is to it. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean.
Well, we all have our opinions.
No, yeah.
Why am I wrong?
Because you haven't looked into it yet.
How do I not understand?
You just got the information now.
From the
From me?
Okay, so nothing in the phone that I saw as far as I keep forgetting his name. The guy from Clayton, the guy who Keith. So Keith's phone, nothing that I can recall suggested Ku Klux Klan or LGBTQ, nothing like that. So all it was drugs. He was talking about drugs. He was talking about drugs with a girl,
Yeah.
and then the girl.
I'm talking
Everybody
about
said drugs.
texts in Jimmy's phone that you guys have as well. That's what I'm talking about. These are texts in Jimmy's phone that he sent to me.
I'm gonna have to go back through his phone because I can't.
Because it
recall his
says,
phone right now.
and I forget the person's name. We'll just say Josh Smith or John Smith or John Doe. John Doe just showed me his KKK Klan hood from underneath his bed or whatever. It's a very direct statement, and so.
But you're gonna put more weight on that versus, hey, I got freaking drugs here, like fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you picking and choosing what you're putting weight on as far as probability goes related to his death? That's all I'm concerned about.
Oh, okay. That's a weird question because wouldn't you also just look at all of the links?
I look at all the links, but also
because as I understand it, right? You know, the KKK is a terrorist organization, as so labeled by the FBI. You know, for the last several decades, right? And that the KKK has infiltrated law enforcement. So if there is a known terrorist organization with a known terrorist name associated with that in somebody's cell phone, that in messages that they sent, and now they're dead 30 days after disclosing that to somebody else, and we know that, and law enforcement says that they don't want that. They don't even look into it, and then we also know that law enforcement is affiliated with the KKK, and that the KKK has infiltrated law enforcement, and that's not conjecture. And then you come back and tell me we haven't looked into it, but I think you're wrong. That again, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. That's a fucking duck. Like what I would expect is that law enforcement would just run down the lead. Just that was in there. Let me check that out. That's weird. Because if that was I'm an Army veteran. If that was somebody in ISIS or Al Qaeda, that person would have been on fucking lock. But now we're talking about somebody who's got this white skin color, so we're not so worried about them, right? That terrorist organization in this zip code we're not so worried about. So it's like okay, I'm just watching. I'm just watching what you guys are doing. I'm just watching.
Okay, but I don't really understand. I've been pretty transparent and pretty kind, so I don't really understand why you're getting so angry at me personally.
I don't know, maybe it's because my brother's dead. And maybe I'm not being angry at you. Maybe I'm just expressing what should have been done to begin with. You already know why we're here. We're here because Allard fucked this shit up. And so you know that, you've expressed that, and you're wondering why I'm cursing. Well, I'm cursing because I want to. My fucking First Amendment right. If you don't like it, there's the fucking door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
Like you. This is what you do for a living.
Yeah.
This is what I do for a living. People curse with me all the fucking time. I'm not looking at you, calling you bad names. I'm using some curse words to accentuate my point. La fucking da. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you deal with dead people.
Yeah.
Right? Child molesters, children who are, yeah, guess what? So fucking I. And I interview people all the time that fucking curse. And I'm not fucking crying about it.
Yeah, I just wonder why you're so angry. Like right now.
Because my
Like, I mean, I know her brothers are too. Like, we spoke about empathy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, empathize with y'all.
But also,
No,
she
no,
hasn't
no,
dealt
no,
with any
no,
of
no.
the detectives.
I'm
I've been the only
upset
one dealing with the detectives.
because
So
law enforcement is not running down that lead and then gaslighting me into thinking that the probability of that being occurring is unreasonable. And I'm suggesting that it's not unreasonable. And the data that I'm using to support that is all of this great data that the FBI has provided, that law enforcement is infiltrated by the KKK, and this is a terrorist organization and all the other things. And that's that bucket. And then there's this bucket with this office and saying, well, the probability of that is super low, even though we've never looked into it. And so we're not going to go look into it because it's just the probability is low.
I didn't say I wouldn't look into it. I said the probability is low, which it is.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Well, if you'd like to look into it, you have my brother's text messages, so please do.